I think Reg might be considering a duff at ice here, I think. No, no, he's going to go back to corner 2, try and keep it tight. I think this is a sensible idea. Simon hasn't had any play for quite a while now, and getting this ball in corner 2 looks like a good choice. So Simon's taking the same shot as he did in the first, down from corner 3 at partner. And if he misses this, I think we'll probably see Reg take the same shot he took in the first game and shoot at the red ball from B-Bulk. Nope. Always missing well on the left there from Simon. So I think we'll see Reg go back up to B-Bulk and play yellow at red from B-Bulk. Yep. Robert played a lovely positional shot, sending blue down to Rover, and it's really in good position. He'll be trying to place yellow as a good escape ball, just to the side of Rover and a little bit south, and just needs to rush blue half the way again to Rover for an easy finish. Nice rush in front of Rover there. And this is an Irish peel again, where both balls go through the hoop in the same shot. Perfectly okay if black finishes in the draws. Yeah, Reg taking his 4th turn shot in the 3rd game at the partner ball. That looked better to me. Yeah, he's hit that one. Robert peeled Rover very comfortably. Blue's gone through by about 6 yards. Now getting a rush on red to blue to rush to the peg and take a 2-1 lead. Back on lawn 1, Reggie's going to play a long takeoff to Simon's black ball, and he'll be hoping to get some sort of cuttable rush down at least part of the way to corner 4. Robert's got a nice rush to the peg. Just got to make sure you don't hit it close enough so it might hill onto the peg. You see there's a little bit of hill left to right at the end there. That moved a couple of balls left to right. home crowd will be feeling a lot happier than they were 2 hours ago. Two-one to Robert. Reg has taken off down a good line, but he's just left it 3 yards short, so he's not going to be able to cut this to corner 4. Probably just settle for hitting it half ball on the left-hand side as he looks at it. No, that was just trying to hit it in the middle. So blue is in the corner. I'm not sure how much Reggie's going to really push to get behind this. No, that was a very uncommitted stroke. Didn't want to trust the lawn. They're pretty good for flatness, but I think he just thinks he can make a leave here. Maximise the length of Simon's shot and join up in corner 2, and he's perfectly happy with that at this stage of the match. He's focusing very much on minimising his errors and you know, forcing Simon just to produce some really top quality croquet. So this is a good example of where the top players try and make their leaves. You shouldn't be trying to roll blue to hoop 1 here. Blue should be between hoop 1 and corner 1. And then you're going to maximise your shot. And he's actually played a pretty good shot trying to get in front of the hoop. Great blue, miles away from the black ball. So he's maximised that length. If he's in front of the hoop, I think we might see him smash through all the way off the north boundary. Yeah, looks to be taking the hoop on. 2 options. You can run it gently and hit the blue. I think here we'll see a complete smash at it, and it'll fly off the north boundary. Yep, there we go. Got the right hand wire. Now got about a 5-yarder at the red ball. Might decide just to roll directly to hoop 2 off the red, ignoring the black and the blue. Good steady body position Reg has there. Need to focus if you're trying to improve. Make sure your body isn't swaying all over the place as you strike it. Good feet position, steady body position, particularly useful when you're playing in wind. So yeah, he just ignoring the black and the blue here. Focusing on 2 things. He's trying to make sure that the red's in a position so when he smashes through to the boundary he gets a rush to black, or 3. And then, has that yellow ball gone far enough? I don't think it has. So Reg will just play back off the north boundary. You know, a few yards away from red, making sure he doesn't leave any sort of target for black or blue. He may do things like play to position where hoop 2's in the way of rushing yellow to hoop 1. Sorry? The cameras are working. Good. So, many of you here will be thinking, well, what happens if black or blue corners here? Roche doesn't seem to have very much, but I'm afraid the standard's so high you've just got to shoot. If you corner red, you'll go round. So Simon's taking his shortest shot. He's going to have a pop at the yellow ball. It gives him a break if he hits it. Perfectly good choice of shot. Needs to start hitting some of these. No, it doesn't look very good at all. That's halfway between yellow and red. I think it'll be another ball to one back for Reg here. Yellow to one back. Reg sending blank to hoop 3, trying to get behind red to rush it to 2. Should all be very straightforward from here, so I'll just let you watch him go to one back. Red's just starting to get into a little bit of trouble here, making his one-back leave. He's rushed partner into blue, so croqueting it back down towards hoop 1 isn't very easy. It's just a little bit messy. So whilst Reggie's going round, Robert and Marcus are having lunch. I think that's got to be a good idea from Marcus's point of view. He needs to break this rhythm of Robert. So Reg again here trying to crosswire the black and the blue balls at hoop 1. Red should be a lot closer to hoop 1 than it is, but still recoverable. So black's in a nice position here. Very easy for him to get yellow just short of it, so he can rush it into wide position from wherever blue finishes. You don't want to put blue too short, because that will mean that rushing black in front of the hoop will leave black able to run hoop 1. So there we go. That is shocking. That's a monster error, I think. He's played to try and get past the black to be able to rush black back again, and has rolled yellow into the jaws of 2 back. Now, I don't know whether yellow's got any shot at all. I don't think it can hit the black. Can it hit the red? Are black and blue wired? There's all sorts of things going on here. So remember, red's about sort of 2 yards north-northwest of hoop 5. I'm not sure what yellow's got here. It's in absolute nightmare position. I think the only thing I'm confident about is we're going to see a lot of strolling around, stamping mallets, shaking heads and hands on hips for a while. Well, that's a very quick decision actually. I think at corner 2. So he's obviously got nothing whatsoever to even think about with the yellow at red. So, a chance for Simon. Let's see if Reg can make sure of this first. It looks fairly straightforward to hit away into corner 2. So that's away. So he's got to 1 back. And I think he's still got the crosswire. But he's left about an 8-yarder for a break for Simon. Black at red. And he'll be pretty disappointed with that. That's a real opening to give Simon a glimmer of a chance to get a bit of play. So yeah, Simon had a quick look at the black and blue, but I'm pretty sure they are crosswired. So I think black at red is the only real shot available. That's a hit. It's got a ball at hoop 1. And it's not absolutely guaranteed to go around from here, because, you know, it is 4 yards away from hoop 1, but he really has to go around, to be honest. He needs to really start making Reg do a bit more. So a big croquet stroke coming up here. Red to hoop 2. Black hopefully past blue to get a rush to hoop 1. Not sure that's far enough. No. Well, he needs to try and rush it south, so he's approaching on a better line for the hoop. Much better to be approaching from south than from either side. Again, you know, just hit that in the middle. So, needs a good approach now. That looks good. Just maybe 2 or 3 inches short. Not too difficult at all, this. Good shot. And you saw the ball actually leave the ground there. It went up a few inches above the ground. And these hoops are 3 3/4 inches wide at the top, not championship hoops. Very, very disappointing really, but there we go. Now, Simon's got a little bit of a problem here in that ideally I think what he's going to want to do is go to 4 back and just play a nice, safe, cautious turn. Get himself back in the match. But the problem with that is that he needs to do a bit more, really. If he can peel Reg his hoop 1 ball to hoop 3 while he's doing it, then Reg won't be able to finish with a sextuple if it hits them. And that'll give Simon a little bit more play. So really he needs to dig this yellow ball out of corner 2 as early as possible, get a 4-ball break, and start peeling that red ball through hoop 1 and through hoop 2. I'm not sure that's going to be as high a priority in his mind as maybe it ought to be. So the spectators here are all sat in front of the clubhouse. Got various very famous croquet players here. John Prince is over from New Zealand. John Magor, Australian #1 from the 70s, is also here. So great to see him here. Simon's done nicely there just to nudge the red into the lawn, get a good rush on yellow, and he should be pretty secure to get to 4 back here. But can he do a bit more than that? No, it's virtually full.
We don't want to cause kidney stones, which has happened to me in the past, like 20 years ago.
And this is where the difference between a sort of top ranked player and you sort of middle to lower ranked player comes in. He's just settling for a basic break here. Simon was seeded number 26 out of 32 in the knockout, so he's done fabulously well to get here. But just really focusing on the basics at the moment. Technically weaker than all the other players here, Simon, with that split grip. And I played with a split grip for many years, and one of the times it really tells is the more under pressure you are. Your swing's coming far more from your wrist and less from the shoulders. And he only hit that rush to his hoop half ball there. So anyway, given that Simon's just going to go to 4 back here with no pops, let's have a think about what he might actually do as a leave. He's been favouring diagonal spreads, and the problem with a diagonal spread is it's what we say, it hasn't got any parity to it, so it doesn't really matter to Reg whether he lifts the ball at the peg or the ball at hoop 2. So he can play either his hoop 1 ball or his 1 back ball, whichever he prefers to do. So I'd much rather see Simon do something with like a 2-4 leave, an NSL, an MSL, and then that encourages Reg to play the ball at hoop 4. So certainly one option which I think might be quite strong would be an NSL or an MSL with the yellow ball at hoop 4, so that if Reg wants to play the red ball, which is his ball he can finish with, he has to give Simon a standard triple. Whereas if he lifts the yellow, he can't finish, and Simon will probably get a lift shot, to give him the opportunity to hit and finish himself. So maybe we'll see something a little bit more exciting than a diagonal spread as a leave. Shot again. It's about 15 yards long. And Marcus plays yellow again. Wide of it. It's a much better yellow this game. Now Robert can't shoot at that yellow to behind hoop 4, giving Marcus a 7-yarder. He's got to shoot at it, giving more like a 5-yarder if he misses yellow. So good adjustment there from Marcus. I'm not keen as Robert on taking this shot anymore. It's very aggressive, it's very long, and he's starting to look at playing blue to the east boundary in a position where if Marcus misses 4th turn, black can rush yellow to blue. So yellow's in a good place. Well, this looks like he's finding something amazingly aggressive and long. Oh no, he's dribbling. Well, personally, I don't like the opening as black and blue there. I think Marcus has won that. He's got a choice between a 9-yarder from B-Bulk or a 10.5-yarder from B-Bulk with a ball in the background. That would be yellow. So he can shoot from near 3rd corner if he wants, which is what I would do. I'd always have this ball in the background on the right hand side. Marcus is just fancying picking off his 9-yarder. Another big shot in this match. And you've got a great view of it here. Irish grip, hands at the top of the mallet. Caster. Yeah, that's where he looked like he was aiming, didn't it? Just always looked to be just fractionally missing on that side. So another big let-off there for Fletcher. Marcus has certainly generated the opportunities for himself in this match. And now we'll see black at yellow. It's only about 5-yarder. And blue's in pretty easy position to be rushed to either hoop 1 or red. And Robert's confidence has got to be really starting to be renewed here. That's in the middle. Another pretty straightforward opportunity here. So yellow to 2, and black, I would be trying to get a rush sort of to the end of A bulk. So if I'm short, I get a rush to hoop 1, and if I'm long, I get a rush to red.
The farm would put some money into it. Whether you would include that as part of your 50% or not is a different matter. Or whether you would want the players.
Very nice. Nice rush pointing near corner 4. You'll be able to take that off the south boundary. Slightly overcut that, but he's played it with enough power that he's going to be fine. Over on lawn 1, Simon's made the cardinal sin of making the last hoop of your turn-off partner ball. Never ever make the last hoop of your turn-off partner ball, and it's really going to compromise the lead he gets out of this. You know, against red, the worst you need to do is give him a 17-yarder. And here I'm a bit worried we're going to see Reg with a 13-yarder. Well, Simon's trying to make an almost horizontal diagonal spread here, which is quite a good leave because it'll make Reg's shortest shot 17 yards. But he's still got a few more shots to pull out to avoid leaving yellow a double target and leaving red and yellow open at the peg. So Simon's done well with the length of yellow there. He's got it nice and deep. He's got a rush on red to the peg, so he's got chances of extricating himself from this problem. Now, one of the reasons I don't particularly like what he's done with the sort of horizontal nature of this leave is Reg is one of the players who loves shooting from B-bulk. So, you know, if you've got a person who loves shooting from B-bulk, you want to be much further south down the east boundary. He's going to sort of be taking an 18, 19 yarder at blue when you could probably have persuaded him into taking a 24 yarder at blue. And with this last shot of the turn, black has to dribble back to leave blue a rush. And it's so easy to leave a double target for yellow. Or potentially for red, which is actually quite a long way away from the peg and might not have a completely hampered backswing. So he's played back off the lawn. That will mean that Reg has a double target from B-Bulk. I expect him to... Well, it's interesting. He could play either red or yellow, but he must have a double from 4 or 5 yards or 6 yards west of corner 3. So it's a disappointing turn for a 4-ball break, really. So there we can see the double targets from about 5 yards west of corner 3. And I think Reg will take it. The only question is with which ball. And he's taking it with his hoop 1 ball. If he hits this, I expect him to try some sort of sextuple pickup. It's not going to be easy because he's probably going to be making hoop 1 off the peelee. So he's going to have some work to do, but he'll be licking his lips at this target. Strikes it well. That's a Hogan error. That's a technical term. That is called a Hogan error. So that was when Joe Hogan, who was actually the first ever world champion in 1989, had a very short double target, a 6-yard double, and he took his ball and he lined it up to try and give himself a perfect double, and he went through the middle of it from 6 yards. And, well, Reg has clearly gone through the middle of that, and I think there was clear daylight. So, you know, when you hit a really good shot, you expect it to hit, and that has to go down as a mistake. Now the question is, will Simon have the bottle to turn around and pick off this red ball? Because he hasn't got a rush on blue anywhere useful. But blue's about a 3.5 yarder and red's about a 6 yarder. And he needs to pick off the red ball here. Sorry, I've got that completely wrong. The blue ball's his hoop 1 ball. So this is much easier now. Blue can just rush the black down to red, and he should be away. Yeah, that's a good start. Nice amount of room to be able to croquet black nicely into play, getting a rush on red towards the yellow. And once he's made hoop 1, he ought to have a standard triple here. Is that the start of an Australian comeback? So a good croquet stroke there from Simon. He's got black well into the lawn. He's got a lovely rush on this red ball to the yellow. He doesn't know. No, shift that. Don't put your foot there. Oh dear. Just move it. Oh, didn't like that at all. And then he's rushed red a lot further south than he wanted to there. He had a lovely rush and he should have just moved that barrier and been more comfortable. And oh dear. Well, he now needs a reasonable croquet stroke just to get back under control again. Really, that blue should be another 4 yards further north to make this shot easy. Maybe even 5 or 6. Is blue far enough? Yes, it is. It's perfect. Lovely shot.
I mean, I've not put some time into it. I don't, I say I'm not expecting us to pay 25.
Yeah, good rush to one, and he's got a good position here to pick up black after hoop one, take it up to hoop three, and have a standard triple to take the third game and make it 1-2.
But this way around is a different way. But how do you get croquet more widely known? That's the thing with development around the world. And the biggest problem in all of these, if you go outside of Egypt and look at the core, is
It's another good croquet stroke there from Simon. Sends yellow to hoop three, and he's got a rush on black that he can cut up to hoop three. Yeah, does very well. Just needs to take advantage of this. Should be an easy 20 minutes on the lawn. Just really start to feel comfortable with all your strokes. Get the game in the bag, but you're focusing just as much as getting yourself in good physical and mental shape for the fourth game. That's a bit too far. It's not nice having these 3.5 yarders. Remember, that's how Marcus lost control of the match earlier. Good shot. Very nice tight control here by Simon at hoop 3. That's good. So nice control start to the triple, peel by 4 or 5 feet. Good rush south. Nice opportunity just to take some lawn time here. Back on lawn 2, Robert Fletcher's made his 9 hoops. Red's on the wire of 2. Yellow's in good position there at hoop 4. And providing he's not hampered on hitting blue, he should be fine. Yep, needs a referee for that. That's a bit careless. Yeah, fairly straightforward. So he'll be laying up about, oh, looks like about 22 yards, 21 yards south of corner 3. Again, this is a MSL, so the rush will be pointing closer to hoop 1 than to the red ball, which won't rush to hoop 1. So yeah, pointing sort of close to hoop 5, able to be cut to hoop 1. And the question is Marcus going to shoot from A bulk with the red, or from B bulk with the yellow? Ripple of applause from the spectators, and we might be one shot away from a finishing turn. Is this Marcus's last shot of the match? Marcus, a member of the Nailsea Club. Looks like he's taking the same shot he took in the previous games, lifting the ball at hoop 2, taking it to A bulk, and well, last game he shot at the blue ball. Here we go. This is about as aggressive a shot as you can take. If he misses, I don't expect him to get another one. hates it again. Closer. So it's the same pickup as we saw in the previous game. The idea is that first shot you rush the red ball north of level with hoop 3, and then that gives you the angle to croquet over to hoop 2, coming down to black and rush black towards the yellow ball. That looks like a good start. That's fine. It's about 2 yards south of corner 3. That'll give him a nice angle to be able to croquet directly to hoop 2, coming down to the black.
Well, taking it back, I went ahead because I don't really need it. So I only really had it. Yes, I'll go back again. Yeah, I'll go back.
Looks pretty reasonable, that. Blue's a little bit further in lawn than you'd like ideally, but he's got a great red at hoop 2, and he can now rush the black down onto the rush line, so he can approach yellow from a nice direction to get a rush to hoop 1. In really good position here, and he really just needs to finish this off now. So croqueting black into the middle of the lawn. Just commit it fully. Just don't be worried about breaking down. And just focus on the blue ball getting a good rush to hoop 1. Nice to be able to play a sort of stop shot or a drive on this. You can send black 20 yards if you want. I just play the shot that maximises your accuracy, moving that blue ball along whilst moving black into the lawn. Absolutely perfect. Just focus on your weight. 3 or 4 feet away from 1 and it should be all over. Looks like good weight. Yep, 2 feet away, and really just needs to stay focused now. Back on lawn 1, Simon's played very nicely. Penult was peeled firmly after hoop 6, and he's now made 2 back, sending the red ball to 4 back, getting a rush on the black in front of Rover in order to peel it before going to yellow at 3 back. Nice picture here of the Rover peel from good position in front. Simon just having a wander down to yellow at 3 back to look at exactly where he wants to be to get his rush. Very sensible use of 10 seconds there. Just compose yourself, make sure you've got everything right in your mind. Good mental picture of the shot. Black goes through and blue goes down to get a rush to 3 back. Lovely control here, just a 4-ball break to finish. And yeah, Reggie's going to be kicking himself here. He made that strange error where he rolled his striker's ball into the jaws of 2 back, so he couldn't hit anything when making the 1 back leave. And then he followed it up with a Hogan error, going through the middle of a double that he'd made himself. But well done to Simon. He's got away with making a really poor leave, and he's followed it up with a nice control triple. That was almost an amazing error. There are a few positions where it's difficult to take off. So you ball at the peg if you rush it into hoop 5, but it looks like he's been lucky. There we go. So, third game to Simon, 2-1. Let's see if he can really hit a few shots and test dredge in this fourth game. Robert's in good position here. He's made hoop 4 with one peel done. He's now rushing Peely so he can get it to penultimate, and he's for hoop 5. So all very straightforward, just needs to keep control. I'll let you watch him. Looks like Robert's just asking for a little bit of special damage to be repaired here before he plays his croquet stroke. So it might be an old hoop hole, it might be a bit of mallet damage, just some sort of imperfection in the lawn that is inconsistent with the area around it. So it looks like they're just waiting for the bucket to come out, and here comes Kembald, and they'll do just a little repair, and then Robert will carry on. Good penalty peel there from Robert. Well down to Rover. Now he's followed it by a poor rush. Need a good stop shot here. Maybe not putting red all the way down to 2 back, because he's got black to help him. So maybe you just put it 2/3 of the way down, hold for a good rush on yellow to 1 back, and then use black to tidy up red. So yeah, that's gone about 3/4 of the way to 2 back. So just a slightly nervy one here. 4-yarder after one back. Copes, and ideally here yellow goes to 3 back, and instead of sort of lurking black near rover, you can rush red. You can rush the black ball west of red, croquet back to rover, and just obtain a good tight dolly rush to 2 back. He needs to be thinking, if I make 2 back, I've definitely won here. So needs to avoid the peg in this shot. That's not a rush to a red, so now he's going to have to rush that to rover and then take off across the rush line. Meaning if he's just a wee bit short or a wee bit long, he might have to roll up from 4 yards away. Again, it's not a difficult takeoff at all, but it's just something which occasionally might go wrong. It's a good shot.
Zooming in.
It's not bad. Didn't get a rush on black closer to rover, which he would have liked. But he's still going to have a go at this rover peel going to yellow. Again, yellow's not ideal. It's a little bit north of the hoop, so he needs to make sure he gets a good rush on it. It's quite a wide angle this for the peel, so we'll be aiming black, possibly even on the outside of the wire for something like this. As he looks at it, the right wire as Robert looks at it. jaws is up. It's a very good blue. So you've got two options, and what I usually do is ignore the black now until rover and just get a rush north out of 3-back. Or his alternative is he can get a rush a little bit west out of 3-back, croquet yellow to penult, rush peel black, and that leaves him what I don't like, a sort of 17-18 yard takeoff to his ball at 4-back. So it looks like he's playing my method of a forward rush out of 3-back, and going to leave this black ball until he gets to rover. So yellow will be sent to penultimate. He'll make 4-back off the red ball. And then ideally you want to send the red down to rover, but instead of it being your normal rover parnier, you want it to be a little bit east or a little bit west of the hoop, so that after penultimate you can come down, rush peel the black, and then send it back to the peg, going to the ball without the hoop being in the way again. So good yellow, good blue, all under control. And Marcus must feel his tournament's coming to an end. So red down to rover, and it's not directly in front of the hoop this time, just a little bit to one side. So from here I'd be trying to send it a foot or two west of rover, and he's not doing. He obviously didn't feel he had room to play that stop shot. So it gets a little bit ugly here. You end up having to rush red very close to black so that you can take off and tap black, keeping it in the jaws of the hoop, and then Irish peel through rover. So after the hoop he'll be focusing on getting a good rush on red, nice and close to black. Things to avoid doing here are never try and cannon black through the hoop with yellow. That just finishes with yellow in the jaws and you end up in all sorts of trouble. So yellow's just being sent out as a deep ball or an escape ball, and it's focused on getting a rush on the red. Yellow's fine. And just as close as you can here to the black ball. That looks fine. Run on a wee bit. So they want to put red out as a side ball. So if blue just goes through rover by a short distance, he can still hit the red. And then he wants to just tap the black, ideally keeping it in the draw still would be good. Little shots like this can go wrong at this stage. Well, this is a lot further away from the black ball than you want to be here. We've already seen a ball just bobble in this area of the lawn, so you don't want to dribble it off at a dead weight because of the bobbly nature. So he might feel obliged to hit it slightly more firmly and maybe try and hit it into the far wire. Not too bad, hit it fairly gently in the end. So this should be okay from here. Yep, hits red, takes off behind yellow, rushes yellow to black, dolly rush to the peg. Just make sure you don't hit it hard enough to reach the peg. And Australia will have their first ever finalist in the World Championships. Well played to Robert. He took full advantage of that error from Marcus in game 2 and dominated the match after that. (3-1) to Fletcher.